Microphone checker, 1, 2 checker. Welcome back to the LFX Media Podcast. We want to welcome our people from Facebook, YouTube, LFX Media, and of course, LFX Media Live, our own platform. I'm your host, Paji Carter, here with my two co-hosts. You guys know who they are.
You already know what it is. It's JPad the Juggernaut, aka the Custom Beat King.
We there, gentlemen?
Yes, sir. I am here.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. It's your boy Antho 2 times. It's your boy. Yes, sir.
Yes,
We in
sir. And we got the Custom Beat King.
How y'all feeling
Yes,
today,
sir.
fella?
Oh, feeling good, man. Can't complain, bro. That's just what it is. We're doing good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, love to hear.
Yeah. Pat and myself is coming off of a 30-day challenge, no fried foods, no salt or little salt.
Yeah. Yeah, traces.
Yes.
Traces of salt. But yeah, the no fried, no table salt challenge was a success. I think that
Hmm.
we achieved what needed to be achieved and put it on people's brain to be much healthier going forward in the years to come. So at any given point in time, you could do these challenges. You can continue them on. I think I made a conscious decision that I'm going to carry on with some of the things that I eliminated over the 28 days of February, and it is definitely a habit developing process. So I'm quite happy with that right off the rip.
Good stuff. It's a lifestyle change.
Yes.
Along with the 30-day fried no fried foods, I think I decided to add another 30 days of strictly H2O water.
Hmm.
No lemonade, no tea, no Kool-Aid, none of that stuff. So,
I have the berry water in effect. I'm ready to
oh
go.
yeah. Oh yeah. Let's work it. You know what
I'm
I'm
ready to
saying?
rock and roll with it. You know.
So I've been encouraged, and a few people have joined and said, they're my daughter. Shout out to little, Asia. She probably tuned in. Um,
Hmm.
she's done I think she did a 14-day detox with just fruit. So
Good.
yeah, we we here to inspire and to influence. That's what we do.
No
Yes,
doubt.
indeed. Yes, indeed.
Hmm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and coming to the end of those 30 days, I was saying, man, I can't wait to go to the Breakfast Club and get me some wings and waffles or some catfish
Oh
and
man,
grits.
I'm trying to tell you. I thought that might have been the case for me as well, but
Yeah.
it was
Mhm.
exactly the opposite.
Yeah, yeah, I'm cool. Not saying that I'm not going to head there pretty soon.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, we're gonna have to slide in there at some point. We're gonna have to
Hey, those
slide.
disclaimer,
trips still gonna be made.
Yeah, we're gonna have to slide
disclaimer.
and glide. You already know what it is, man. We're gonna have to slide and glide.
Listen, guys, it's so much going on right now, and we got to recap Black History. We
Hmm.
had, I do the questions, so we got it lit on the blue app they call Facebook. We got it lit, but we're gonna recap a lot of things that happened in Black History Month. We're gonna probably project some things with this being March and March Madness hitting
Hmm.
the city of Houston. All
Yes, sir.
welcome to come down and enjoy. We'll be
Gonna be
sitting,
entertaining.
yeah, we'll be sitting somewhere close to the action, and the University of Houston Cougars, they'll be there as well. So
Ah.
come one, come all, come on. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for a friend of mine from Aliquippa. He's going to touch down. He was making reservations for a long weekend. He's going to come down and join us. But listen, guys, if you haven't experienced March Madness, if you haven't experienced the city of Houston, and I talked to people last night, was like, I don't really care about the game. I just want to go to the turkey leg hut. You know what I'm saying? So we
Well,
got it down here. Come get it.
come get it.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
indeed. Whatever your
Yeah.
purpose for coming, I promise you, it'll meet you here.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Nice.
We have a very nice museum and theater district downtown.
No doubt.
If you're into water, we have several lakes. We got
Mhm.
Galveston Beach. If you want to hit the beach, yeah. Lake Houston, several
Mhm.
things that you can't come down once or twice to Houston and say you've seen it all. You got to
Mm-mm.
4 or 5 visits. You got to do at least 4 or 5 visits.
To
So
say you did it justice.
yeah, very much so.
Hmm.
So with that being said, guys, breaking news, trending, what's going on. We're gonna talk about Michael B. Jordan. Now, what happened is he had a red carpet premiere, and he was called corny by more than one entity. A couple podcasts were calling him corny. I'm not even going to give them the justice of saying their names. That's how I feel today. Now, yesterday I wanted to scorch him, but I said, you know what? Let's give Michael B his flowers, because I guess they were saying he was corny for bringing his headshot to school in high school. So
Hmm.
let me ask you guys, because this is the question that I wanted to ask on Facebook, but I actually I included the Michael B. Jordan story, and that was another thing. They were like, Michael Jordan, you are not. So that was another thing they teased him about in high school.
Hmm.
Michael Jordan, like, no. But the question that I wanted to ask is, what is corny? You know what I'm saying? So I told my kids in growing up in school, I said, pay attention to these corny guys, because these are going to be the bosses. They're going they're going to be the ones who's running the industries. So the class clowns, the ones that some of them grew up to be comedians, but most of them fell short. But yeah, that was one of the topics of one of my questions, and
Hmm.
yeah, let's give Michael B his flowers. And speaking of high school, um, he's been acting since 12 years old. So the first sighting that I had of Michael B was on The Wire, and he was at least 14 around that time. And the actual season that he played in The Wire, he he was there for most of The Wire, but the season when the kids came in and they were taking, did both of you guys experience The Wire?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely experienced The Wire. I did not watch it, binge watch it, or
Okay.
on a regular and faithful basis, but definitely was able to partake in some of the story of The Wire really deep. On the
Mhm.
inner side of what goes on out there in the slum, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, yeah, definitely a watch that I say people should look at if they never
Oh
did
yeah,
get the chance to see it.
for sure. The guy Avon Barksdale was a true Baltimore street legend, and that's what the story surrounded. And he actually got a cameo appearance somewhere in the series. But the season that I was talking about, it could have been season 2 or season 3, but it was the kids of the hustlers in the school being, I guess, for a lack of better words, the the correlation with the streets and what it means to school. Like, one of their teachers was teaching them how to understand in a dice game how to count the numbers mathematically. He turned it into a mathematic equation, and got the kids interested in what was going on in school mathematically. And that was a good season, I thought, when Michael B and the rest of the guys, they were basically stepping off the porch, and the teachers were trying to keep them in line. And that's, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But that was my first introduction. Michael B. He was around 14 at the time, so I can imagine when he was in high school walking around with the headshots. I'm like, uh, I'm on the wire. You know what I mean? I need to walk around with my headshots because my career is going in directions that I have to stay focused, and that focus got him to where he's at right now in Creed 3, where he actually was handed some his directorial debut. So
Yes.
yeah, if you haven't seen Creed 3, it's something I haven't seen it myself. So I'm gonna promote it.
Neither have I. Yeah, yeah, but check it out
I'm
anyway.
yeah, I'm gonna promote it, but I'm gonna make sure that with this podcast, I'll probably go see it this week. I wish our other podcaster was here. He has a review show on YouTube. Shout out to Rastic Bangham. But
No doubt.
the guy who directed, his name is Ryan Coogler. So
Hmm.
if you aren't familiar with the name Ryan Coogler, he directed Judas and Black Messiah, Space Jam, A New Legacy. Young guy from Oakland. He's about 33 years old, but look at the what he's put out so far, being 33 years old. And
Oh yeah, yeah, body of work.
great Fruitvale Station, another great one. Uh, Creed 1, 2, and 3, of course, and uh, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. So all of these, let's go out there and pay respect to black film. You know, go ahead, go out and see these movies.
Yes,
Real deal.
please do. Please do. We highly encourage you to support the movement with that because it's vital and critical to understand that part of our entrepreneurialism when it comes to things in this country in this society, the film industry is a big part of it, and you'd be surprised at who actually is behind the camera directing these films. Jordan Peele and Antoine Fuqua and all of these great filmmakers
Lee
who are people,
Daniels.
yes, who are
Mhm.
people of color. So
Hmm.
yes, I encourage you to check them out and definitely support it because that's what we're about here. We're about support and we're about the upliftment and giving people their flowers, like Mello P said.
Absolutely. And if you look at the progression of it really goes back to Rocky One. This whole thread of movies. What was it, like six Rockies?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
It's
at
about
least.
six Rockies. Yeah. So Creed is part of that family. You know, Creed
Hmm.
One, actually, you had Sylvester Stallone, and the explanation that I got from Michael B when he was on what's my guy's name, Rosenberg, uh, Ebro and Rosenberg. He explained how the first series was about connecting with Rocky. The second was about developing his own identity. And the third, Rocky is not in it. Sylvester Stallone isn't in it, but it's an IP thing, intellectual property thing. So they handed him like, hey, you want to do some directing? So he might go for another 4 or 5 films in Creed. Who knows? I mean,
Who
Hmm.
knows?
yeah, it's
I'm
about
positive it's gonna
intellectual
get enough
property.
traction. Yeah, I'm sure it'll get enough traction for him to do whatever he wants to with it.
Oh yeah, the early reports, even not seeing the movie, everybody seeing the movie thus far has said that it's a must watch. So I would imagine so.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yep. I
Yeah.
watched a global press conference that, in London. You know what I'm saying? That's quite an impact for a black filmmaker and a black director and actor.
Yes, yes, agreed,
Definitely.
agreed.
Yeah, and him, he said some of the people. He's from Newark, also known as the Bricks. So he gave a shout out to Kyrie, to
Shout out to
Redman.
Jersey. Yes,
Yes,
indeed. Shout
sir.
out to Jersey for
Dirty
sure.
Jers, Shaq, the philanthropist, athlete, whatever you would have put in front of his name, uh,
The big cactus.
platinum rapper.
Oh, that too. Yep,
Yeah.
you can definitely say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he's infamously on a podcast recently
Mm-hmm.
talking about that experience of
Mm-hmm.
being a platinum rapper, if you will, and
Mm-hmm.
how little he actually made off of those records. And
Mm,
it puts it in perspective for those of us that are in the music business. I mean, on average, guys, the average musician in today's society is probably only pulling in about 45 a year.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, just to keep it in perspective so people don't realize, they think that everybody's making all this grandeur money and things of that nature. Don't be fooled by that because really
mhm,
at the end of the day, this is a business where you really got to put some work in order to get there, and the percentage of people that are actually making that money is almost kind of comparable to what we call the 1%. And for those who don't realize who the 1% is, like it would benefit you to kind of like dig into that rabbit hole so you know what the 1% actually is. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the people that kind of like control a majority of the
mm,
property, the
mhm,
money, you know, those assets alone. You know what I mean? So it's something that you definitely want to pay attention to, especially if you're in the business of music. You know what I mean? Like you really do
mhm,
need to have a realistic understanding
mhm.
what the 1% actually entails.
Yep. And us with this particular podcast, uh, understanding what the 1% is, sometimes it has a spooky, the elitist and all of that type stuff. But this resume that Michael B. Jordan has rolled out, he explained on Ebro and Rosenberg how um, to get in that type of shape, to 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 look like this, you know,
Hmm.
it takes 3 workouts a day, 6 days a week.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It does take that, and it really is something to put in perspective as well. Like you have these things around us, and it's good to be aware of them. You know what I mean? Just like we were just touching up real quick back on the 1% once again. For those who really don't understand it, like I'll give you like a definition of it. The people who are said to have the most money, property, and power in society, those are the people that they consider the 1%. You know, which is the richest 1%. You know what I mean? And you can equate those things for yourself, but that is actually what we're talking about. And the curve and the scale is adjusted based off of that alone. You know, and not saying that none of us have the potential to be that, but we do have to put things in realistic perspective when we're looking at these type of things. And so, the 1% is definitely exactly that, the 1%. And the rest of us, if you're not, let me put to you like this, in this country, for example, in America, if you're not making 500,000 and up, you definitely are not part of the 1%. So if your benchmark is somebody that's making $250,000 a year, that's not it. Those folks are actually so low on the chart compared to somebody that's making half a million, in this day and age. And it puts it in perspective as far as wealth is concerned. Like, you really, really got to keep it in perspective. And yeah, yeah, that's where we're sitting at right now. We're sitting on these type of dynamics. You know what I mean? And also pay attention to financial literacy. Pay attention to things that you normally did not pay attention to. Because if you don't pay attention to that stuff, it definitely will make you fall by the wayside. It'll make you fall by the wayside. So, you know what I'm saying? Just wanted to share that one out there real quick.
No doubt.
Hmm. Looks like we lost the mellow man here briefly.
Slid out over. What would you say your favorite Michael B. Jordan film is, bro? If you had to grab one.
If I had to grab one, man, I mean, and I liked him in a lot of movies.
Hmm.
But the role that he played as Killmonger in Black Panther,
Hmm.
was just that kind of defined it for him, for me. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
think that'll be
He
one of his
played that
famous.
he played that role to perfection. And if you were a comic book head back in the day, you know what I mean, and
Hmm.
you knew the story of Killmonger, I think that they were able to, uh, in the Black Panther film, they were able to put him in the right light, if you will,
Right.
put him in the right light. And then his story, just the story of Killmonger itself and being able to play and portray that role, spoke volumes to me. And I don't think he got as much credit as he deserved for playing that role. But that would have to be mine.
Yeah, and I would say the same as far as my favorite. I was actually looking earlier, and they say he was in. Do you remember the movie Hardball with Keanu Reeves?
Oh, I sure do. I
They
sure do.
say
And
he,
yes, he was in that movie. Yes, he
and
was.
it didn't strike me until after they said it. I was like, oh man, he was even in that one. That was a
Which is another one
childhood.
that
Right
if you
there.
didn't see it, you might want to go back and review that one as well.
Definitely go back and check out Hardball 2001,
Yes.
early 2000 film.
Yes, indeed. And that was in his heyday of the Matrix um,
Yes,
series, so Keanu Reeves, but
hot ticket.
when you look at that
You
hardball,
guys with me?
oh, definitely. We've been chatting it up since you disappeared from went to the shadow realm,
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
no question. No question.
yeah,
Comment if you can hear me on Facebook or YouTube.
Oh yeah,
We're
yeah.
streaming live on both platforms.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
Shout out to our Facebook fans. Shout out to the people on YouTube. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Let me know if you can hear me.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fruitville Station was good as well, and also
So
another
yeah, with
big
this being Black
about
History Month,
remorse.
um,
Another one that
the
that
Black history that stands out to me in my head, um, I want to give a shout out to my dad, Mel Witherspoon, Ben Wiley. These guys, the three of them, they played ball together in the '60s and actually went into Gannon University's Hall of Fame as a whole team. And each one of them, respectively in their own fields, went on to make a great impact on their community, heavily involved in their families. And shout out to those three guys. Um,
Okay.
can't forget my Aunt Cheney, one of the first business women that I know of and landlord in the neighborhood. Shout out to Aunt Cheney, the Crosby family. A lot of people are business minded. You know, we started over on German. Um,
Nice.
also, I want to shout out the Wright family and one of the businesses that the Pope Hotel on 13th and French actually Duke Ellington, Pearl Bailey, and I don't know how far they were in their careers, but they actually came through and performed at the Pope Hotel. And Jesse Pope started it in 1928, but he passed it to his son Ernie Ernie Wright, who actually was a great Negro League ball player. He was heavily involved in the Cleveland Buckeyes. So let
Mm,
me get a
yeah, cool.
picture of the Pope, put it up so you guys can see.
Nice, 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 nice.
Mm,
Yeah, for me myself, it would have to be
there it is.
oh
It's the
yeah,
Pope Hotel.
Pope Hotel.
Goes back to 1928, and as you can see, it's a two-story dwelling. In the top half, there were boarding rooms where people stayed, and in the bottom half, there was a performance stage. Actually, I think what they said, the performances were in the basement.
Right.
So when they tore the building down, the whole stage and everything was still in place. And I would have loved to have seen that, back in the day.
Oh, sure.
But the stories that I hear from my parents, from my aunts and uncles, and people of the community, the Pope Hotel was really jumping.
Sure.
So shout out to the Wright family, the Pope family. Um, Ernie Wright, the one who took over, is actually my friend Charles Wright, his granddad. And Charles is actually putting together a film himself. I'm gonna have to get in contact with him and see the progress. I think it's actually an animated film, to be honest with you,
Mm,
but I have to
okay.
check on that. But shout out to the Pope, the Wright family, and also speaking of Facebook, um, I posted a picture of the Taylor Funeral Home, and a lot of people gave flowers to the Taylor family, to John Taylor, who actually was the first funeral home in the city of Erie. And a lot of people shared it. They appreciated it. And, shout out to the Taylor family. And it's all about having that intestinal fortitude to start a business, stay consistent, and pass on some type of legacy to your next generation. And that's what we're doing here at LFX Media, building our legacy and passing it on to the next generation.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
So again,
for
I have to
myself,
keep saying share, like, comment. If you're watching through YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching through Facebook, go ahead and follow that Facebook page, and subscribe to lfxmedia.live, our own platform where again we're giving content creators opportunities. If you have a talk show, if you have a podcast, um, if you have a short film, if you have some comedy skits, whatever the case may be, if it's content, join us over here at the Content Kings, lfxmedia.live.
nice, nice. Yeah, for myself, I would have to say that most of the time
It starts
the
so
inspiration that
definitely Black History. Black History Month is history now, but don't stop at those 28 days that they gave us. Black History is every day. So let's make history every single chance we get,
right, right,
being part of a legacy that's being passed down. We got to keep it going.
for sure, for sure. Definitely, I think that my most important thing is you
Yeah,
know
I can't hear my co-host. Let me see.
I had a feeling that's what was going on.
Okay.
He
Yeah, I had a feeling that's
definitely-
what was going on right there.
yeah, I was like, yeah,
Because
he don't hear. He
yeah,
don't hear.
we were trying to talk it out, but I don't think we could.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah, but as far as myself is concerned, though, the people that I looked up to, of course, there were people around the city that I looked up to variously. You know, what I'm saying, like, the people that were in the fields that I was, what I'm saying, gravitating to at a young age. Such as
You
people like,
guys there?
yeah, we're here, brother.
Like check.
Yeah, we're here. I think he may still not be able to
All
hear
right.
us.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and end this production. Thanks for coming out for LFX Media, the podcast. Black History and Michael B. Jordan. We'll probably touch on this some more. And thanks for coming out. If you didn't know, now you know. We will see you on the next show.
Next time, y'all.
Next time, y'all be blessed.